Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of September 24th, and we are in the midst of the ooey gooey phase, traveling through the eclipse portal, all taking part in this wonderful big transformation process, the metamorphosis that takes place during eclipse season. We had last week the opening eclipse to this cycle here, and that was the full moon in Pisces. We also had last week the fall equinox and the movement of Venus into the sign of Scorpio. And this week, we are in the midst of this wormhole. We're traveling between eclipses, and we also have Mercury making a grand trine with a couple of outer planets at the later degrees of signs. Also, Mercury in opposition to Neptune right before moving into a new sign into Libra. Also, Mars making a trine with Saturn retrograde this week. So going to be chatting about all of those things today. Mercury is really the star of the program this week, and it's good. Mercury is a planet that deals with our communication and our mind. And so as we want to communicate, more clearly, we would clear our throats. We would take nice, deep, supportive breaths in order to do so and lay out our thoughts in a nice, orderly fashion. We still have Mercury in Virgo right now. And so this is the house that rules this planet. Also, Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury. So Virgo and Gemini are known as the two sort of brainy signs. These are the communicators. These are the thinkers. This is the signs where we see a lot of really efficient mental work. And so Mercury in the final degrees of Virgo this week, making a grand Earth trine with Pluto and Uranus. And as I mentioned last week, right before the fall equinox, the sun came through this 28, 29 degree point of Virgo also and made this grand trine. So this is like 2 full weeks right here of full on supportive, cooperative, grounded, structure building energy here. Earth signs are all about the groundworks. We work from the earth up. So it's all about that stability, really finding stability on our feet and in our lives and in whatever situations that we are working through right now. We are indeed working through a lot of sensitivities at the moment. This last full moon in Pisces on September 17th was our opening eclipse to this cycle. And this is Pisces, the most sensitive, the most emotional, the most empathetic, the most compassionate, the most giving of themselves spiritually of any of the other energies in the zodiac. And so here we are in a big opening eclipse, and we are indeed open. We're open, we're vulnerable. All of our sensitivities are out in the open, and we are completely surrendered at this moment. We are surrendered. We are moving through the fall equinox, finding balance. We are looking for answers coming later into the week and into next week to this eclipse cycle. But for right now, we are just in the midst of the metamorphosis. We're feeling the sensitivities. We know that the past is gone. Whatever form, shape that we were, situations were then, goal structures were then, are going to look totally different next week when we pop out of this. There is a wormhole process that takes place. So it's a great place to just be in full surrender. It's almost like a retrograde in its own, but extreme things, changes can take place during eclipse cycles. So we have to stay very open. We have to keep that big extra. If your eraser on your pencil is already gone from making so many new plans and erasing your old plans and filling in new things and erasing those new things and making even newer things, then it's time to even go invest in one of those big square erasers that you would have next to you. So you can do a larger section of erasing on our page here, because that's just the type of energy that comes through with eclipses. But then this grand Earth trine between Mercury, a very fast-moving planet, and Uranus, another quick-moving energy, and Pluto, the great transformer. So two quick-moving energies and an energy, Pluto, that's not afraid to transform, to let something totally die and birth something new. Mercury and Uranus are actually, Uranus is known as the higher octave of Mercury. So these two planets work together beautifully, very synergistically. And when Uranus and Mercury are together, things happen very, very quickly. But they're both in Earth signs. So it's an interesting push and pull here when you've got fast-moving energies in the slow-moving signs. Earth signs are known to put their feet into the ground and dig in. It's like that energy when you're trying to pull on an animal or you're trying to force something through that's not working and it's dug in and there's just no way it's going anywhere. That is Earth energy. So interesting, quick, not so quick transformations that can take place here, but it's a choice thing with Earth signs is what I'm getting at, is that when the Earth signs choose that now is the time to change, now is the time to transform, now is the time to adjust, now is the time to create movement, that it's going to do it in a heartbeat because it's already made up its mind. And so here we are in this kind of dichotomous energy between wanting to make some quick decision and let something happen really fast, but also having hesitations, having second thoughts, being really unsure. And it's okay. It's good to take your time making decisions. In fact, Uranus and Mercury can tend to even make decisions too quickly where there are mistakes involved and you have to go back. And that's why Mercury retrogrades so often, because we tend to move quickly sometimes, and we do need those times to go back and to make those edits. Also, at the same time that we have this beautiful cooperative Earth grand trine, the same Mercury and the sun for that matter, because the sun's right in here too. The sun this week is just in the first few degrees of Libra, and Neptune is at the 28th, 29th degree of Pisces. So as Mercury comes through into the last degrees of Virgo, makes an opposition to this Neptune, and the sun also right there, having just made this opposition the day before the autumnal equinox. And and still definitely within orb enough to be affecting this and be affected by it. So the sun is our personal identity. This is kind of like our ego. This is who we are. This is who we are as a person. This is our filter of which we see the world. And the sun is in Libra now, so has left behind those Virgo themes of efficiency, because we've already completed that. Once we've moved from one sign to the next, those cycles are completed. So the sun has already, our ego, our identity has already done all of that efficiency, has already learned how to serve ourselves and our lives and the people around us most efficiently, keeping our energy adjusted and healthy for the next opportunity that we deem worthy. Now in Libra, a Venus-ruled sign is focused on making things beautiful, making things balanced and fair and harmonious. And this is the relationship sign. So as we move toward the Libra eclipse next week, Mercury is going to be there already. The sun in Libra, we're going to be doing work on relationships. So as the week comes into play and the weekend and next week, we're going to be really focusing in on relationships. But this Neptune opposition brings in hopes, dreams, desires, also can sort of dilute things, make things delusional is what I mean. So brings in like this fogginess where things aren't totally clear anymore. But Neptune is also a place where we access our the unconditional connection of love from spirit and from source energy. Neptune represents source energy. So whatever that is for you, as we are in an opposition with this energy, hopes, dreams, desires, source energy can feel a little far off. An opposition, after all, is when these two entities are the furthest away that they can be from each other in the zodiac here. So it kind of makes it makes them opposing each other in sort of this another push and pull of my dreams, my hopes, desires. They're a little far off. They're hard for me to attain right now, and my ego and my mind are over here, refocusing on new themes, moving into Libra and kind of leaving other things behind as we're moving out of Virgo too. And so there can be this sort of need for clarity here, or the need to make some type of decision that is going to help us move forward and leave behind these Virgo themes and move into Libra themes. So that's the Mercury Sun opposition with Neptune here, which it's not a rare aspect. Neptune and the Sun and Mercury, they all have an opposition every year. So this is a place where we strive for clarity. We use this as an opportunity to even, we can work with the Sun and the Mercury energy together. We are letting our mind and our personal ego come into some type of cooperation together also. So also look in your astrological birth chart. Where does this sit for you? Final degrees of Virgo, first degrees of Libra. What house is this for you? Do you have planets or points there? Because if so, you're going to be dealing with those themes. And as we move into the week here, we have Mercury entering Libra on September 26th on the Pacific West Coast at 1 a.m. And so we're going to wake up on Thursday with our mind in a new place, looking to those beautiful, pleasant things, wanting to talk about balance and harmony and art and love and relationships and fairness and opportunities there. And then later in the weekend on September 29th, Mars comes into a trine with the retrograded Saturn in Pisces. Mars is in Cancer. I talked a lot about Mars in Cancer the last couple of shows, so definitely hit up the last couple of shows. Like if you haven't listened to the Cosmic Community Astrology in a few weeks and this whole eclipse thing has sprung up on you, you like totally didn't know what was happening, find some context. Go back and even listen to shows from a week or two ago just to start applying some of that and bring in some of the context here, because there are a lot of trines this week, and trines are best utilized when you can find something to focus on. Eileen Locke, my guru astrologer here in Bend, Oregon, would say find a project, because this can feel like a restless time. You need to have something to focus this energy on. Mars in Cancer is definitely a go-getter for making sure that our home, our safety, and our security is taken care of. Mars is worried very much right now about protecting the homeland and protecting the home. And now we have a trine with this retrograded Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces retrograde is all about taking responsibility for our emotions, our sensitivities, our connection to spirit, all of the Piscean themes. And Saturn is responsibility. So we're learning to have deeper responsibility right now for Pisces themes. And when Saturn or any planet is in retrograde, it's focused on the past. It's going back and redoing things. And so right now, this week, we have a building trine between Mars, our warrior spirit. This is our physical body. This is the things that we get up and do every day, Mars. And since we are focusing so much on these past feelings, these past circumstances, 12th sign Pisces, all about closure. We are coming to an end. It's almost like a sadness, a victimized feeling in Pisces sometime. I have to say goodbye. It's just so hard. And that is tough for Pisces, but it's all about the transformational process that we go through. When we leave the sign of Pisces, we get to reinvent ourselves and restart ourselves in the first sign of the zodiac again, Aries. And so it's important to find closure and to let things go from the past and to realize that then we are to take action on new themes that bring us more security within ourselves, within our home space, within our home, in our family life. These are the themes around this Mars trine Saturn retrograde on September 29th. So this could also be, since Saturn is about decision making, there could be another error to making a decision here. About taking a step, about completing something, about making something known. After all, Mercury being so strong in this grand trine, and Mars and Mercury are both personal planets. It could be taking action and making a decision and making something known and communicating something out here too, as we are changing and shifting into this beautiful Libra season. Libra is the sign of relationships. And right now, Libra is finishing up with the South Node there and going to be, I think it's maybe another 3 months or just a little less than 3 months of the South Node in Libra. So if you are Libra, or if you have your ascendant or your moon or any other planets or points in Libra, you've probably been feeling this South Node. South Node is about things that we are trying to walk away from, things that we are trying to end, things that are no longer serving us and that we need to let go away in life. So hang in there, Libra. If the last 15 months have been a little stressful on your relationships, it's all been for the best, because eclipses are all about cosmic course correction. And so there are things in our life that we take action on and we make happen for our most benevolent good. But if we are not able to do that for ourselves, there is a universal course correction that comes in here during eclipse season that will put us on our fated path in any manner necessary, because it is absolutely for our highest, most benevolent good. And that is something to rest easy in as you are continuing to stay grounded this week. Thank you so much for being tuned in, and I hope that this was helpful. And I will be chatting with you again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.